What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fungal Caves. I'm Neon Mushroom. For everyone who's watched the first video uploaded on this channel, thank you, and all you 50-something subscribers, 40-something subscribers. Very cool that a lot of you came over from the main channel. For anyone who didn't, check out Neon Mushroom. That's my main channel. We do a lot of modern gameplay. Paper gameplay is the big pull, I would say, to that channel. I think I enjoy paper gameplay, so my monkey brain tells me everyone else does too. Today, we're going to be playing some standard ladder in Mythic, though. And we're playing kind of a pet deck of mine that I've used to get to Mythic 2 seasons now, and it's Izzet Pirates. This deck's kind of wild. The inspiration came from some unnamed hero whose deck I saw on a deck drop a little while ago, a couple months ago, and I've been tuning it and editing it since seeing that. So let's go through the deck, because there's some cards that you wouldn't necessarily see in your typical arena Mythic standard deck. This is best of 3 for everyone watching, so anyone who's like into Covert Go Blue and wants to watch a bunch of game ones, this might not be for you. We are playing 2 copies of Fading Hope. Now, I know this isn't a removal spell, and that on-summon might not be considered standard playable these days, but it can also be used to protect your own creatures, and we are in red, meaning there are a handful of creatures like Shieldred, who it's pretty difficult to deal with using damage. So Fading Hope, it's a tempo deck. We usually use it to try to clear lethal or protect one of our threats from like a Wrath or something. Spell Pierce is self-explanatory, I think. Spyglass Siren is a pirate, makes an artifact. We kind of care about the artifacts. The first reason we care about the artifacts is Goblin Tomb Raider, a 1/2 for 1. I think this card says Pauper play. But as long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 and has haste. You usually control an artifact. So this is basically Goblin Guide. I'd say like 8 times out of 10 in this deck. Voltage Surge, it's a 1 mana, deal 4 damage to anything, because we've got a ton of artifacts, self-explanatory. And then Lost Jit, or Lost Jite, however you pronounce it. This card's really cool. I kind of dogged on this card when I first saw it in the previews, because I was like, this is not even close to Umezawa Jite. Then I started playing with it, and it's pretty tight. When you equip it, it costs 1 to equip and 1 to play. And once it's equipped, whenever the equipped creature deals damage, not to a player, not to a creature, not to a planeswalker, but just in general, you can put a charge counter on it. And then you can remove a charge counter to do one of the following. Untap a land, so kind of like a ramp effect. Target creature can't block this turn, tempo effect, and put a +1/+1 counter on the equipped creature. Cut Down is one of the best removal spells in the standard format. This just gets around it, dude. I don't know what else to say. Staunch Crewmate comes in and gets another pirate or artifact, kind of like your Elvish Visionary. Subterranean Shooter is an artifact, doesn't die to Wraths, and helps you accrue card advantage. Malcolm is a 2/2 with haste that makes artifacts. And then I'm playing 1 Captain Storm. This is like a draft bomb, and probably not that good and constructed, but Malcolm is legendary, and I wanted some more 2-drops. Captain Storm in the right board state can just take over the game. Cryptic Coat is a solid 3-drop. Kite-Style Arsonist removes threats and lets you keep checking in for damage. Breaches is the payoff for the entire deck. It's the best card in this deck, and it's not really close. If you go 1-drop Pirate into 2-drop Pirate into Breaches, your opponent can't block thanks to the second line of text. You can make artifacts and ramp thanks to the first line, and the third line lets you exile the top card, and you can play it till end of turn, generating card advantage, and you can get all 3 of these triggers every turn. Finally, there's 1 Zephyr Singer in the deck. It's kind of a funky little card, but I really wanted some way to like break up ground mirrors, because a lot of our creatures have flying, but some of the creatures we really would like to have flying, like Breaches, do not, and Zephyr Singer kind of helped us get around that. The lands are what you think: couple man lands, couple Mirax, couple caverns, lands that make our colors, and then the sideboard, also kind of uninteresting, just good cards. And the Festivities. This is going to be for your Convoke matchup. Lithomantic Barrage kills white creatures. Soul Guide Lantern deals with Graveyard, so the Rug lands deck, this is quite good against. Disdainful Stroke counters big stuff. Spell Pierce counters little stuff. Negate counters not creature stuff. Abrade Scorching Shot, they are both removal. And Urbrass Forge is really hard for a lot of control decks to answer once it hits the board. That's all you need to know. Let's go ahead and play a couple of best of 3 games in the ladder. All right, found our first opponent, Darko, 98th percentile in Mythic. We are 799. For any of you people who watched the Bronco video I uploaded last week on the main channel, you saw that I was number like 111 by the end of it. I haven't played any Mythic, and like I said, I got in early. So thanks to me not playing, everyone else got into Mythic, and I'm pushed down to 799. So not nearly as cool as the first video on Neon Mushroom. This hand's kind of weak. Double Subterranean Shooter plus Goblin Tomb Raider. We can attack on 2. Attack 4/2 on turn 2, and our mana's good. So this hand is like, it's not great, but I like the idea of hitting with Tomb Raider on 2, then hitting with Subterranean Shooter on 3. Potentially, we can also give the Subterranean Shooter a flying counter. We're going to keep this, but it is a little bit weak. All right, Shivan Reef, Goblin Tomb Raider. The Meta Breaker, 1/2s for 1. Tap land. This could be a number of decks from, not Convoke, from Esper to Ramp to some 5-color jank. Let's go ahead and play Island, play the Schooner. Beat for 2. Pass the turn. Next turn, we can either crew the Schooner and give a flying counter to it, or they played a Cave, so that tells me they're holding up No More Lies. They could be holding up No More Lies or Go for the Throat. Neither of those deal with Subterranean Schooner attacking. For that, they would need either Get Lost or Long Goodbye, the uncounterable, the uncounterable removal spell. So what we're actually going to do here is play the Mirex, tap it for blue. I'm going to play Spyglass Siren. I'll play into a No More Lies here, see if I can get them to counter the Siren. And they don't counter the Siren, so I get another artifact. In this case, it's a map. I'll go ahead and crew up the Subterranean Schooner, so I'm getting him with something now. Continue the beatdown, and go to combat. I could also have jammed Zephyr Singer there. Seems pretty bad. Plays into No More Lies, get no damage in. They drop her Fiend. I don't have a way to deal with it, and then everything's bad. Very Mastermind. Are we going to trade? You're going to trade your 2-drop for my 1-drop? I love that rate. And then nothing else to do with my mana here. I'll just play another Schooner. If my opponent if my opponent holds up mana again, I probably just channel Soken's on. They're going to play Preacher, which is kind of in the way. I did just draw out of it like an absolute genius, so let's do that now. I'm going to play Kite Sail. I'll actually turn my map into a treasure, and that's because it kind of ramps me, and I might need the extra mana later, especially with a 4-drop in my hand. Then I'll ramp my opponent, but that's okay. We'll crew up the Subterranean Schooner, and then here's a super techie play. I want to explore twice, so we'll do that. Beat for 4. Oh, no, I don't explore twice. I only attack with 1. It was kind of a pointless attack, but oh well, it looked cool. Land, Shielded wouldn't be ideal. Looks like they're definitely holding up the Wandering Emperor. If I play Breaches, I'd need to play land first if I want to play Breaches. That way I can pay for No More Lies. That makes sense. Here, I'll just play the Soken's on. Here is Breaches. Now if they have the counterspell, I can just pay the mana. There's No More Lies. It resolves. I'll pay it. Do you have 2? That's going to cost you 2 life to cast, or 1 life in your treasure. Alright. They can't cast the Wandering Emperor anymore, so I'm going to crew up this Subterranean Schooner with Breaches, and this one with Spyglass Siren. I lose a Breaches trigger, but all I want to do this turn is actually make a treasure, so that's fine. Attack, trigger Breaches, we want the treasure, and then trigger 2 Schooners, and we get to explore twice. Looks like they're responding to the triggers being put on the stack, but if they had a response, they probably should have done it before I attacked. Yeah, that was pretty weak. Our opponent misplayed pretty poorly there. They could have just not let me attack with it. Oh, I see. They get their dude back. Can they make a profitable... They can make a profitable block here. So I take that back. That was a pretty heads-up play from opponent. That said, I'm going to put this Breaches in the bin. I think I'm still going to wind up kind of ahead on board. They're going to have a removal spell, and they are at 7 life as well. The Wandering Emperor here would be nightmarish. They make a 1/1 blocker. Cruising for 2. I go to 17. Continue to hold up mana, which really telegraphs to me that they've got a Wandering Emperor. I think we need to go Storm-Carved Coast so I can play Zephyr Singer and pay for another No More Lies if they have it. I am not going to convoke this Zephyr Singer. I'm going to use it to crew the Subterranean Schooner. There's triggers. It doesn't do anything because I did not convoke it because I'm a silly boy. Just kidding. That was the play I meant to make. All right, let's go to combat. Cruising for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is lethal. They have to do something. Go for the throat, the Breaches? Sure. How about 5? You gotta block this. I get another land. Little flooding action. Very, very fucking chill. Alright, they go to 5. Then they go up to 6. But I've got 5 in the air. They probably have to keep getting in so they can have the lifelinker. They also have a Restless Anchorage, which is kind of tricky. We draw Voltage Surge. That is a really good draw here. I'm going to continue the beatdown plan. In order to do so, I'm going to activate Mirex, make a 1/1. The Schooner actually crews for 1. So that's a really nice thing to do with your mana when you flood out. And then we're going to go to combat and attack. I'm not going to Voltage Surge the 1/1 just yet. I'm going to see if they think it's a good idea to get busy with their Restless Anchorage. I can Voltage Surge the Anchorage plus pay for the No More Lies. That's a Fading Hope. I will take that. And then they can block Spyglass Siren. So what I'll do here, I don't actually need this 1/1. I'm going to Voltage Surge here. I'm going to sacrifice this 2/2. to keep blanking No More Lies, because I can just pay for it here. There's No More Lies. Resolves. I will pay it. All right. Got game one. I think our opponent forgot we had a treasure, and that worked out in our favor. Sideboarding. I think during sideboarding, I should probably be like right there. Yeah, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, it's Esper. Soul Guide Lantern is bad against Esper. Urbra's Forge isn't the worst against Esper, but on the draw, I don't want to play it behind their, I don't want to play behind their turns, because that's going to make their, what's the name of that card? The 3-drop that comes into play and is basically Reclamation Sage. Can't remember her name, but she's very good. She's in that deck. Scorching Shot is able to kill Shieldred, and that's pretty good. I think I want Lithomantic Barrage. They appear to be Esper. They've got Preacher. I have to assume that they're playing Rafine. I'm going to go ahead and assume they're playing Rafine. Bring in Lithomantic Barrage. I don't think I want another Spell Pierce on the draw or a Disdainful Stroke. End the Festivities? No. A Braid? Probably not. I think I'll bring in like and Scorching Shot. They've got a lot of flyers, so the Flying Convoke guy doesn't do very much. Goblin Tomb Raider is going to be a little bit slow. I'm just going to cut one because I don't want to overdraw on the card. It's nice that it's an extra body for breaches, but that's kind of all it is on the draw in this matchup. Cryptic Coat can kind of break up the war on the ground. I can start getting in while just like holding down the ground with my creatures, but I think their creatures pound for pound are better than mine, so I'm going to rely on my synergy just a little bit more. So we'll bring in a couple more removal spells to go with our Voltage Surge, and then a card that can specifically kill Shieldred. Other than that, I'm going to lean on our deck's main game plan. And then if we lose this game, I'll probably bring in Urbra's Forge on the play, because I can play it, and I can like force them to No More Lies my 2-drop to force it into play, is the idea. So we got Spell Pierce, Lithomantic Barrage, and Staunch Crewmate. This hand is very slow. I think this is a trap. We're going to mulligan. Ooh, Spyglass Siren, Subterranean Shooter, Voltage Surge, Breaches, and Lost GT. This hand's really fucking good. The problem is I like every single card in my hand. I think because we're on the draw, the Lost Jit is just going to be like ambitious at best. So we'll put that down. Plan to go Siren into Schooner, remove something, Breaches. Very cool. We drew Milkum, who has both the Eyes and Haste. Make a little map past the turn. Are they going to cut down here? Mint. They're probably playing around me curving into Breaches, which so that play might not be so bad. Let's put me back where you can see what's going on the stack. Bam. Okay, Restless Spire, not the best land to draw here. They did not draw a blue source, so this is like a free put Subterranean Schooner into play, I think, which is exactly what we're going to do. And pass. Here they could play Rafine. They don't. Okay, this isn't too bad. I might have to take the turn off to like get a land into play and kill this, but I think I'm okay with that. Voltage Surge here. Sacrifice the map. Take care of Preacher. Hope they don't follow it up with Shieldred, and we should be okay. I'd be fine with like a wedding announcement here, but Shieldred would be pretty bad. They're holding up for the Wandering Emperor. Does Surge hit Planeswalkers? It does. Let's go ahead and jam Milkum. I'm not going to attack with Milkum. I'm going to crew the Schooner up. Go to combat, beat for 3. Trigger, get our land drop. That's very good. Looks like they just don't have the Wandering Emperor or blue, so I'm not sure what our opponent kept. And pass. Really? Play Preacher, do nothing on 4? How is that good? And nothing on 5. You don't have like an Aclazotz or anything? And you've got no blue mana. Here comes Breaches. I'm just going to keep going now. Crew up the Schooner with my Breaches. Get busy for 5. Trigger. I want to actually exile the top card of my library. Getting a 3-drop would be detrimental. I think it's still worth it. Exile top card. Knockout Blow? Sure. 4 damage to my Schooner. Okay, Goblin Tomb Raider's pretty cool. I'll leave Kite Sail Larcenist right on top, because I still can't deal with Shieldred. And then I can drop the Tomb Raider, which triggers Milkum, and I will get a clue. That worked out nicely. Hopefully our opponent doesn't just like Sunfall us. That would kind of suck. They opt to do literally nothing. 4 + 2 is 6, + 2 is 8, 9, 10. I could attack with Restless Spire. I think it's wrong. We're just going to go to combat. If they're smart, they don't have the removal. Otherwise, they would have taken out the Breaches. They could have Wandering Emperor now, but I'm still going to get all 3 of these triggers. The can't block doesn't matter because they don't have any blockers. So, exile top card, make a treasure. You play the Wandering Emperor. Is that what it is? Do you have it? Blockers. There it is, Wandering Emperor. Cool. We can kill that with the Voltage Surge, thankfully. All right, Breaches is gone. Take 4. And now I can play my land. I can Voltage Surge the Wandering Emperor. I will not sacrifice an artifact. And then I think I'll crack this treasure, this clue now, just in case I draw like a 1-drop and I can trigger the Malcolm again. I do. So Subterranean Tuner, trigger Malcolm, make another clue, keep up my card advantage past the turn. I can deal with both of their best threats. Rafine, the Thematic Barrage will take care of, because it can't be countered, so the ward trigger doesn't do anything. And bam! Beat this guy 2-0. Surprising. I think the Esper matchup might be like one of the spookier ones for this deck, but that's fine. All right, when I asked in the comments what you guys like to see, the overwhelming was like 2 games, both best of 3. That'll give us between 4 and 6 games to look at. So I think that's what we're doing, but mind you, I think if like the next game we either lose by a landslide or win by a landslide very quickly, we might squeeze in a third, so just keep that in mind. Let's get into game 2. Ooh, also, I don't want to freak anyone out. Something that happens, I've talked about this in previous videos, that I see some streamers, well, not streamers, it's kind of harder to get away with it, but some people who just straight up make like arena content on YouTube, and this happens pretty much mostly in best of 1. I've seen some best of 3 players do it, but a lot of best of 1 players do it, where they will, they'll upload like a 7-game run, and they'll win like 7 or 6 of the games, and a bunch of people will like go, you know, use wildcards to build that streamer's deck, and they'll be like, wow, I cannot win. There's one of 2 things happening. Usually the streamer is going to be, or the streamer or the content creator is going to be better than you, because 9 times out of 10 they play more Magic than you do, and that is a factor. But the bigger factor is that they can cherry pick the games that they're playing, which I think is just a bummer, because if you see a deck like this one, Pirates, not a super played deck in Standard, and I win a couple games and you like it, I'd like you to not get burnt by only seeing the 3 games that I won when I really, in reality, I played 10 games. So I'm playing these games in series. So if I lose 3 games in a row, I'm uploading it, and then you'll know either don't build that deck, or hey, this Neon Mushroom guy sucks at Magic and I should build that deck because I could do it better. But you have all the tools needed to make your own conclusion. This hand is very good as long as our opponent isn't playing like... No, I can't think of anything this isn't good at, except Mono Red. Mono Red's a tough matchup, but we'll keep this. We don't have like a good 1-drop, but if our opponent like plays a threat... Okay, Control is another thing I'm not super pumped to see. Restless Anchorage is probably Control. I'd like to see a black land. Okay, looks like, but they didn't bat us. Okay, we're still in the money. The funny thing here is I would like very much not to just like jam a threat, get it no more lies, then they drop Rafine and I have to spend the turn removing the Rafine. That would kind of blow. But I have 2 Voltage Surges. Let's play my worst card. I need to get the no more lies out of their hand. I don't have a land drop for next turn, so maybe if I had a land drop, I'd pass. If they play a threat, I can Voltage Surge it. And then I can play my land and like try to double spell on my following turn. But since I don't have it, we're going to trade for this No More Lies. And then our opponent's probably going to drop like Preacher or Rafine here, but they don't do anything, so they could be straight up Esper Control. If this is Esper midrange, they usually have something to do on 3, unless they're holding a bunch of like Fairy Masterminds and what's the name of it? Virtue of Loyalty. That said, I cannot do nothing for the whole game, and drawing a bunch of Voltage Surges, if this is the Control matchup, is pretty much a death sentence for us. All right, another No More Lies. I was hoping, if they are Control, I was hoping they cast like 3 steps ahead, so they would like reveal that they're a Control deck and not midrange. But that did not happen, so we'll just jam Restless Spire. We probably lose, because we're going into turn 4 with no board state dominance, and that's usually a death sentence, but the reason we're waiting is to see what they're doing. This Fairy Mastermind tells me it's probably midrange. Esper midrange. That's a Rafine. They're definitely Esper midrange, so that's helpful. So what we're going to do, we'll let them go to combat, and attack with the Fairy Mastermind. Put the Connive Trigger on the stack. I'm going to blow up the Fairy Mastermind. They could have Spell Pierce, although this deck doesn't typically play Spell Pierce, so I'm not too concerned with that. Now, I'm not going to try to Kite Sail Larcenist this Rafine. You know, is it better to bounce it? I can't Kite Sail Larcenist. My land comes into play tapped, and I would have to pay Ward 1, and even if I did, they could kill the Kite Sail with a cut down, and then attack with Rafine, and that would be pretty bad. I think the better play might be to... Do I want to jam Breaches? It gets around cut down. I don't love it, but I'm going to jam Breaches here. My other line was to Fading Hope the Rafine and hope it just like works out. But they're going to get the Connive off the Rafine if I leave it in play. And if I Fading Hope it, they can like bat me plus Rafine me on the follow-up, which seems pretty bad. They go for the throat, they get busy. I imagine they're going to pitch a land here unless their hand's just insane, which is possible. It's a cut down. I imagine they would value that, so their hand has to be just insane here. Let's go Kite Sail Larcenist. I'm going to turn the Rafine into a treasure, and then if they target my Kite Sail Larcenist, I will... I think I'll bounce my own Kite Sail Arsonist. Alright, what do you got? They're going to cut down, so that has Ward 1. I'm going to let them pay that. Then I'm going to Fading Hope my own Larcenist and get a Scry. The Murex is not what we're looking for here. So these Voltage Surges are better. I was a little worried we were playing against like straight up Esper control, where the Voltage Surges wouldn't have any text, but here they're a little bit better. Although without an artifact, I'm never going to be able to kill a naked Rafine, and this Rafine has 6 toughness, so it's going to be tough. Land, Threat, Wedding Announcement. Yeah, we don't care about that card as much. All right, let's hope the last card in their hand isn't either Counterspell or Removal. Looks like it's something. All right, it's a No More Lies. So our line here is to pass the turn. Nope. Let's stop them in their upkeep. And in their upkeep, I'm going to Voltage Surge the 1/1. I don't want them to draw any more cards. And if they attack with 2 creatures, they're going to trigger the Wedding Announcement. They also get a double Connive. Both those things seem quite poor. All right, they're going to get busy with Restless Anchorage. They're going to get a double Connive. Seems not great. And they're going to get a draw as well. So they're going to end the turn with either 1 or 2 cards in their hand. Map the Restless Anchorage, sure. Shoot the Sheriff. Oof. Oh, Pirates are outlaws, right? I want to read about your Shoot the Sheriff. Outlaws are Pirates are outlaws. You love to see it. Okay, cool. That's actually super helpful. Kite Sail Arsonist. Target nothing for me. Make your Rafine into a treasure. I'll pay the ward. Go. They're going to play Bat. They've got 1 unknown. I think I'm going to Voltage Surge the Bat in response and hold on to my Fading Hope if I can. Do you have another No More Lies? Did you draw all 4 of them? No. Okay, cool. You see my Fading Hope. I imagine they're going to board all their Shoot the Sheriffs out. That is one upside to playing this deck. Shoot the Sheriff, no text. All right, we'll play Breaches. I think we need to exile the top card just to like try to start going wide. Because even though it looks like we've caught up, we're actually still behind. All right, we're going to exile the top card. Tishana's Tidebinder. Okay, you can do that to Breaches, I guess. Beat for 2. The removal spell still doesn't work, and I still have a Fading Hope. But I might be forced to Fading Hope like the 2/2. Nope, I'm going to Fading Hope their Restless Anchorage and Time Walk their land. Alright, goodbye Restless Anchorage. Unless you've drawn Fading Hope or No More Lies number 4. It's gone. That's a Spyglass Siren. I actually want to keep that. Alright, they attack with Tishana's Tidebinder. That's interesting. I'm at 10. I'm just going to go for a trade here. Tap land pass. Tap land pass. Restless Spire. I'm going to man this up, try to bring our opponent to 13. They can crack their Rafine to kill my Spire here, but I'm fine with that. Spire isn't a rogue, right? It's an elemental. So attack with everything. I want the Scry here. I do not want that mountain. Drawing that definitely kills us. Blockers. You can shoot the Sheriff, my Spire. They don't want to do it. Doesn't look like. All right, take them down to 13. Getting closer. Here is a Spyglass Siren. Now, I'm not going to map the rest of Spire because that might really make them want to use their Shoot the Sheriff, even at the expense of sacrificing the Rafine treasure. So I'm going to map my Spyglass Siren. Because they can't shoot it, and if they have a cut down randomly, it's just not as effective on the Spyglass Siren. This Subterranean Shooter is really cool, but I don't think it's what we want. What we're actually looking for here, I think, is Breaches number 2, or like a Malcolm or something. Or, God, even the Staunch Crewmate would be quite good. But I think the Subterranean Shooter is too slow. It's giving our opponent way too many turns to just like draw a way out. I'd take another Fading Hope or removal spell, just some way to keep getting in. Because the Restless Anchorage is on tap now, and a heads-up play would be to do nothing and not let me through. Instead, it looks like they want to race, which I guess isn't the worst. Are they going to get busy with the 2/2? They're not. Well, I won't block a 3/3 or 3/4. They don't map it. Okay. I'm going to keep exposing this rest. Nope. Now I don't need to because they don't have to sack the Rafine. So I'm actually just going to drop another Spyglass Siren. And I'm going to map this Siren so it's bigger than a Restless Anchorage. Or it attempts to be bigger than a Restless Anchorage, I guess. It's just a land. We drew another Spire, so I'm going to get busy with this one and make him use their Shoot the Sheriff. Go to combat. Attack for 6. If they were going to shoot, they should have done it first. Now I get a free scry. Fairy Mastermind, sure. You're going to trade with the Siren. Zephyr Singer. This is actually the correct time to draw that card. What is it, a 3/4? Show me Zephyr Singer. Yeah, 3/4 in the air is not bad here. They did take out my Kitesail Arsonist. In what looked like a trade? How did they do that? Oh, because their creatures are +1/+1. Now, can they kill me here? 3/3. I can... No, they've got to shoot the Sheriff. All they have to do is connive correctly and I'm dead, because any combination of creatures that I don't block kills me. I'll just like make sure they do it though. Oh, now they don't need to do it because they've got, even if I block their biggest creature, yeah, we're just dead. Okay, I die. Let's go ahead and, yeah, similar plan. It looks like they're playing cards I know all about, so we're going to bring in a Scorching Shot for the potential Shieldred, 2 Lithomantic Barrage. I think that we might want Urabrask's Forge on the play, at least as a 1 or 2 of. We're going to take out Zephyr Singer. We're going to take out a Cryptic Coat. We're going to take out Captain Storm, very exposed to removal. And then probably I think a Voltage. No, do I think that they have Preacher of the Schism? That's going to be the big one that I want a Voltage Surge, if I can get away with it. But it also hits bats at instant speed. I think we don't remove one of those. I think we're going to get rid of Kitesail Arsonist to avoid the blowouts. Bring in 1 Urabrask Forge. I want 1 more. Let's take out a Schooner. Just because their ground gets clogged up, they've got a bunch of X4s. It's kind of difficult to attack with it. Let's try something like this. Done. All right, round 2. Let's try this again. Play first. We have Spyglass and a Malcolm and a Breaches. Cut down beats us pretty good, but this is our deck's main game plan, so we're going to keep it. Here is my 1-drop. Would you like to cut down my 1-drop? Land pass. Okay. I'm not going to play Malcolm here. I really don't want to get blown out by a cut down on the Malcolm. I'm going to play Staunch Crewmate. That way if they cut down, I've already replaced the Crewmate, provided it hits. It usually hits in this deck. Attack for 1. Staunch Crewmate. Now cut down is just not a very effective card for my opponent at all. Unless this misses. Which is rare. Alright, there's the cut down. Take a trade. Now we're 1 for 1. But now I'm up a card. I will take... Another Staunch Crewmate's not the worst. I think I actually want Kitesail Arsonist, though. Well, no. I've already got Breaches. What would I want a Larcenist? No, I'm just going to take another Crewmate. I want to keep accruing cards. And I've only got 3 land drops right now, so I want to, like, have some Devil Spell turns coming up. They play another land, which tells me removal spell. They probably just play No More Lies, so this might not be representing Counterspell, but it's probably representing way to deal with Breaches. So what I'm going to do is get in for 1. Bring them to 17, and try a Cryptic Coat. Did you bring in Negate or, like, Make Disappear or something? Fairy Mastermind, who cares? Alright, there's my 3-2. What's under it? A Fading Hope? Doesn't matter, it's a 3-power creature that's going to keep getting in unless they cut it down. Rafine would be pretty lame here, but I can deal with the Rafine, so not the worst. And I can keep getting in. So the thing we're really trying to blank here is Shieldred, because one of our Fading Hopes that we've used to deal with it is actually underneath our face down card. Voltage Surge is a pretty good top deck. The Murex is making our life a little bit awkward. We can still double spell. Let's Voltage Surge. No, we can't double spell because we're going to have to pay for the ward cost. Still worth it. Voltage Surge, yes, I'm sure I want to do it. Pay it. I will sacrifice this artifact. Goodbye, Rafine. Resolve, pay. And now, me get busy for 4. Me race. If they keep tapping out in the air, then Malcolm comes down and they take 5, 6, and then they're on a 2-turn clock. They can't Wandering Emperor us here. I think I'm actually just going to get busy, play Staunch Crewmate, and hold up Voltage Surge. Here comes these guys. You want to No More Lies this? You do. That'll open me up to be able to just take out this Fairy Mastermind. And we will trade resources. All right, go. You're on a 3-turn clock right now. Please don't, like... Oh, Aclazotz. Well, I do have a line around Aclazotz. It's not particularly good because this is going to trigger at least once. But here is my breaches. Yeah, breaches. I'm going to get busy with both of these and then say that Aclazotz can't block. Then they'll go back up to 8, but I'll be able to kill them with Goblin Tomb Raider if they miss on land. Yeah, okay. Attack. Trigger breaches. Target creature can't block. It's you. Beat. Attack for 4. Trigger. I'm going to pitch, honestly, breaches. If they have the removal for this breaches, that's just kind of tough for us. We can't afford to keep a redundant card in our hand when we're kind of fighting a resource war right now while getting beaten down by an Aclazotz. Tap land. You got to have an answer for the breach. It's a second Aclazotz. Does this kill the dog? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you're dead. Hiya. All right, trigger all 3 modes of breaches. That can't block. I'll make a treasure token. I'll exile the top card. 3. Yep, that's just lethal. Good night. All right, looks like we bought ourselves a game 3. Thanks, breaches. They didn't have the removal spell for it, and we won, which I think is how breaches is often going to play out. If my opponent can't deal with it, I win. If they can, we're playing a below average deck. Now on the draw, I like cutting probably both Herbrass Forges, but we'll try one to start. Now we know about Aclazotz. Most of these decks play at least one, but we know there's 2. So I'm actually going to bring a Kite Sail back in as a reactive spell, and then I'm going to cut my other Herbrass Forge for a Disdainful Stroke, because that's going to be a tough card for me to deal with. I'm also going to drop a Jite for another Disdainful Stroke. Let's try that. Game 3. All right, big game 3. Come on, killer hand. Being on the draw in game 3 really sucks. Spell Pierce, Double Larcenist, Voltage Surge. Not the best. We're going to mulligan, I think. It's also not the worst. It can deal with our opponent's bat, though we'll have to open on Mountain to do that. But the Larcenists aren't the worst cards ever. I can use Spell Pierce to protect them because they've got Ward 1. They've taken a mulligan, so I'm going to keep 7 and try to win this on just pure card advantage. If I just draw like dud, like land drop, plus like another counter spell, this could go pretty poorly. That's a great draw. That opens us up to Spell Pierce and Duress as well if they have that. They do nothing, so they're playing a slow game too. So we're going to be real chill. We're just going to play this Mountain. We're going to do that instead of the Restless Spire, just in case they have like Duress plus No More Lies. That would blow. All right, here comes the Deep Cavern Bat, which means we're going to Voltage Surge a Deep Cavern Bat. Goodbye, Deep Cavern Bat. All right, we're going to hold our Larcenists. We're not just going to jam one into 0 value. But now if they have a Duress along with the Deep Cavern Bat, they know we have the Spell Pierce, so they can't really cast it, slowing them down. Because I imagine if they have Duress in their deck, they might be bringing them in here. This is a good turn to just get the Restless Spire into play and tap and pass. 4 manas, representing a Wandering Emperor. Scorching Shot. We're kind of just drawing all reactive cards, but I think we have a few more turns before it becomes a huge problem. Maybe they go Virtue of Loyalty, make a 2/2. I can Fading Hope that and get a Scry in. They're going to get in with Restless Anchorage. That's alarming. Goodbye, Restless Anchorage. Little Time Walk action. Little skip that land drop. I do not want that. Pass, and my turn. Okay, Goblin Tomb Raider. Pretty awkward here with no artifacts. I think I'm actually going to keep scrying. We'll use the Restless Spire to do it this time. Get busy. What's on top? An island? No, thank you. Beat. And do I want to drop the Tomb Raider here just to spend the mana? Yeah, I think so. We're still holding up Spell Pierce, so they can't Wandering Emperor or cast the big side of Virtue. They need to have an on-tap land to drop Wedding Announcement, so not the worst. And if they drop Shielder, we just have Scorching Shot. Although I'd be surprised if they did that because they know we have Larcenists, so slightly awkward. I wonder if they're going to take the turn to deal with Tomb Raider. They're not. They're going to get in with their Restless Anchorage, opening us up to being able to continue getting in. We have drawn an alarming amount of lands. We've been like 30% to draw a land for the last couple turns. Drawing dud. Big bummer. But Scry Train. This one's a good card. Makes the Goblin Tomb Raider bigger too. Connect for 3. We're still winning the race. And pass. Second Restless Anchorage. I can't imagine they want to get in again. If they do, that's a sign their hand just doesn't do anything, or they're just holding so many copies of No More Lies. But if that was the case, they probably wouldn't have gone in last turn with their Restless Anchorage. So what does my opponent have? Interesting. They're going to pass. Now I can jam this Cryptic Coat and pay for No More Lies. Is it worth it? I think so. Here's Cryptic Coat. If you have No More Lies, you would just have 2 No More Lies. Not a lot I can do about it. Trigger the Cryptic Coat to Shauna's Tidebinder? No. Lucky. Attack for 2? Can't Emperor me. I just have... Ooh, that was a mistake. No, wait, it wasn't a mistake. If they get busy with their Restless Anchorage, I can Larcenist it. That's how that works, right? Yeah, I think that's how that works. So we're gonna... Oh, or I can Scorching Shot it. I can Scorching Shot and Spell Pierce No More Lies. I actually don't hate this. I forgot about their ability to activate and block, but I still like this sequence. All right, goodbye No More Lies. No. We will use our Spell Pierce. All right, I now have things in play and things to stop your bodies from mattering. Can you get me there in 5 turns? Well, with that Lorn of the Third Path, answer's probably not. That's the name of the White Reclamation Sage I was trying to think of. Dennick Shore. All right, let's go Spyglass Siren. Let's go ahead and map my face down card. Draw land. That's very medium. But we'll put a Cavern on Pirate, and we will play Kitesail Larcenist. Kitesail will come in. I will make nothing of mine an artifact, but I'll make that Dennick an artifact. I'd like it if they didn't just draw cards here. Or didn't gain life, rather. We'll get in for 2. I'm cool with the trade here. And then pass. Don't love our position, but unanswered breaches can still just like take us to the finish line, so we'll see what happens. The thing I really hoped didn't happen if I kept that hand kind of just happened. Deep Cavern Bat's pretty rough. They know it's a Kitesail Larcenist, so they've got to have a plan for what comes after this. Okay, you got it. Have I drawn any Voltage Surges? 1. Alright, they're trying to make the bat bigger. Keeping temporary lockdown seems unhinged. Yeah, they're going to put that in the bin. They're going to cut down my Kitesail Larcenist, sure. So now they got like Lifelinker in play. Looks pretty rough for us. Alright, they get in for 2. Rip. Ouch. Okay, me play. Goblin Tomb Raider, we're calling it there. Esper got us that game. They've got like 4 points of lifelink in play, and we're really bad at playing from behind. If our board was a little bit bigger, we'd try, but not so much there. I'm skipping this. All right, well, with that said, we're 1-1. We can't leave it on a tie, so we're gonna play one more best of 3 game to see if we have a losing record or a winning record. All right, Yoshi Soldier, round 3. Give me the play, give me the play, give me the play. I get the play, yay. All right, this hand is a 4-drop and 2 1-drops. This is very poor. This is Siren, Tomb Raider, Lost Jite. Keep. I'm going to ship the Shivan Reef. And we are going to open on Cavern, naming Pirate, and Spyglass Siren. We sequence it this way because we have a 1-1, an artifact, we play Tomb Raider, we can attack for 3 next turn, and we can drop our Jite. That is a Jetmir's Garden, so temporary lockdown is a card I am concerned with, but we are not set up to play around it at all. Here's a Jite. Here's me coming in for 3. This looks like Domain Ramp. So if I draw like Breaches, I might have a chance to get under them, but anything other than that, probably not. Up the Beanstalk. Please don't find multiple copies of... Oh, what is it? Leyline Binding. Let's put this Jite on the Spyglass Siren. Let's crack this map on the Spyglass Siren. Paying Cavern of Souls mana. Goblin Tomb Raider? Sure. We're hoping not to get temporary lockdown this game pretty hard. I'll go to combat, attack for 4, put a counter on the Jite, remove a counter to untap this land, play Staunch Crewmate, now at 6 power, and we will grab the Tomb Raider, the only target on top of our deck. Temporary lockdown kills us here, although these decks sometimes don't main it, especially since they just have up the Beanstalk. But there's still some things that can get us pretty good here. They have Domain, so they can... There's really no, like, black, blue 2-drops unless they're playing Dark Domain, which has, like, cut downs and stuff. So they could maybe binding us and draw a card here. They just spelunking. But that would let them put a white source in and potentially binding. That would be a bummer. Big, big bummer. But it's just Zeotor's Proving Ground, so that does not happen. We could forego playing the Tomb Raider to try to play around Sunfall. But I think we're doing one thing this game. I think if they have the Sunfall, we're in pretty deep shit anyway. Let's get in for 8. Bring him to 5. Trigger the GT. Put a counter on the GT. Play Spire Bluff Canal and pass. They would need a white source to cast the board wipe. Unless they have Deadly Cover Up as a board wipe. But they have the white source, so I'm expecting to see a Sunfall here. Pretty big bummer, but that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Archangel of Wrath, less bad. I wonder what they're going to take out here. Goblin Tomb Raider? Sure. 7. They're at 7. If I draw an artifact, that's game. If I draw breaches, it's also game. Very cool. All right. Beep. Add. Counter. Go combat. Attack. 3 triggers. Archangel of Wrath. Cannot block. Cool. Got it. All right. We win game 1. Meaning that even if we lose game 2, we're on the play for game 3. This is ramp. Cards that are good against ramp are Disdainful Stroke. Negate. Probably Herbrest, Forge. They've got bindings, but I think our goal is to overload their leyline bindings. So we're going to do just that. Spell Pierce is fine-ish. I don't think I want the spell. We'll see if we have enough to take out. Let's try to take things out first. Zypher overextends us. Kite Sail is like fine, but I only want 2 because they don't have that many creatures, and I don't want to give them an extra mana ever for any reason. Voltage Surge is... Does it kill? It kills Archangel of Wrath, which isn't nothing. Can I have my sideboard back? Thank you. Which isn't nothing. So maybe we want like some number of that, but not too many. Let's cut down to 3 of those. We'll cut Captain Storm because we're punished for going too wide, I think. And then Lost GT, I'm going to cut 1 just to hedge around the fact they're probably thinking about bringing in some number of temporary lockdown. And then we'll try something like this. All right, let's do it. All right, show me that good hand with counter spells. Stormcarved Coast and Spire Bluff Canal is not ideal. I might keep this anyway because I have the Fading Hope. And I can go like, I can draw an on-tap land in the first turn, like the first turn. That would tell me to lead on Spire Bluff, play Goblin Tomb Raider, and to milk him into Breaches. And that could be okay, but I think this 7, especially with our opponent taking a mulligan, I'm going to take the Andrea Mengucci adage of my opponent mulligan so I keep and have extra cards. All right, they go to 6, they're happy with their 6. Tap land, saw that coming. Disdainful Stroke, not bad. No real reason to open on Goblin Tomb Raider here. I'm just going to play a tapped Stormcarved Coast and plan to milk him next turn. They play Cavern on Angel, play up the Beanstalk, sure. All right, here is Spire Bluff Canal. Now I could go spell attack for 2. But I'd rather play Milkum, that way if they don't deal with the Milkum, I can get a clue. So let's get busy for 2. Pass to opponent, they hopefully don't do anything meaningful. Herd Migration, so they either need the land or they want special colors to set something up for like turn 4. Plains, which is what they got off the Herd Migration, we draw the land. They are not on domain. They're not on domain just yet. So, and they can't Sunfall us next turn. I am mildly concerned with, what am I mildly concerned with? Maybe they play Depopulate, because I can hold up Disdainful Stroke this turn. I just don't think this is the turn I'm going to hold up D-Stroke. I'm going to play Breaches. I'm going to get busy with Milkum. I'm going to trigger Breaches, and I'm going to make a treasure. That'll give us Fading Hope for the Breaches potentially if we need it. Pass turn. I'm not going to use that treasure, obviously, because I might need the Fading Hope for something. If they play like an Archangel as a blocker, that's pretty bad for them, so I can't imagine they do that here. Glimpse the Core. They're going to get a basic forest and put it in tap. That's fine. All right, now we're just worried about like Archangel of Wrath. Go to my turn. Draw Lost GT. Do we want to play it? We can play it, equip it, and Disdainful Stroke a Leyline Binding, which isn't the worst. That said, I don't think that's where we're at. We're just going to drop Goblin Tomb Raider and get busy. We're going to try to counter a board wipe, I think is our plan. Or this Leyline Binding. Do we want to counter Leyline Binding? If we don't counter Leyline Binding, we can let it resolve. They hit Breaches and I bounce Breaches to my hand, redeploy it next turn. Is that better? I think so. Yeah, we're going to let them draw their card. Binding comes into play. And then they target Breaches and I go, nah, I'm good. That triggers Milkum. I do get the clue. Spire Bluff Canal, kind of want to land, don't want it to come into play tapped. Then I attack for 4, bring them to 15. Hopefully this D-stroke does something reasonable. If they double kick an Archangel, it's lights out for us. We got to go to game 3. Imodane's Recruiter. Make a couple 2/2s. Well, let's counter that, I think. Yeah, let's counter that. I just need to be getting him for damage. It looks like they may be setting up to go wide. So I'm going to take that signal and not let them resolve a couple 2/2s and put Imodane's Recruiter in the adventure zone. Tap land, I draw, negate, not bad actually. Let's go G2, equip it to Malcolm. Get busy for 4, and then do nothing. If they decide to put like a board wipe on the stack or something, I can untap a land and negate it. Archangel of Wrath, I can at least save my Malcolm from. I'm not going to counter a Spelunking, I know that much. Alright, you draw a card. Got a land to put into play. If it's a cave, you gain 4 life. It's not, it's just a swamp. They're passing to us, meaning we're doing nothing. We take a draw. It's a Goblin Tomb Raider. I think casting Breaches is a suicide mission, so we're not going to do that. We'll just try to put them on a 2-turn clock. Here's 6 power. Go to combat. Get busy. Another binding. I am not going to interact with this binding at all. Binding takes out Milkum. That is fine. 3-turn clock it is. All right, they're at 7. Let's go ahead and equip this to one of our Tomb Raiders. And pass. If they don't have anything, another Tomb Raider just kills them. Temporary Lockdown is too good here, so I'm going to untap a land. Please don't have to shun us Tidebinder. And negate the lockdown. Thank you, Lost Jite. Please don't just like kick an Archangel now. They don't do that. This is a Tomb Raider that's almost lethal, but not quite. Do we just do it? Do we just like get in with all these Tomb Raiders and hope? I think we might. Tomb Raider. I want to bring you to 1, dude. That way if they drop like a, what's the name of the card? The good one. Atraxa, I can just drop Breaches and not let it block, and then that's game. What do you got? Are you going to cycle a Herd Migration? Okay. Okay, not bad. That means they don't have anything to stop us yet. They've only got 1 mystery card. So they have to draw it right now. We like that. Pass turn. I'm not going to extend because one of their outs is a board wipe. There's the board wipe. It's Sunfall. They draw a card off Beanstalk, and that is fine. They pass to us, so we're going to crack the clue now. See what we draw. Something sick. Cryptic Coat is actually not the worst. Followed by Milkum. Milkum's actually quite good. We're kind of a slave to whatever our opponent has in hand. We can't really stop them, so we're just going to play Milkum. We're just going for everything here. We got to scramble to deal lethal before they can find more answers. We're equipping here as well. All right, here I come. Hiya. Hiya. All right. Put another counter on the Lost Jite. And here's the thing. If our opponent plays an Archangel, we can actually kill our own Milkum in response to the trigger and not let them gain life. And try to like sneak the game with a, with something. Sunfall. Okay, you draw a card. I think Sunfall's fine. I can't really do anything about it. But I don't think I'm going to do anything with my Lost Jite in response. Alright, they pass to us. There's another Breaches. It might be time to just play Cryptic Coat. Yeah, I think we're dropping Cryptic Coat. Trigger Cryptic Coat. Do you have Tidebinder? You don't. That's just a land. Okay. You are up, opponent. You've transformed an artifact. Please just have blanks. You've transformed another artifact. Please just have blanks. That tells me they don't have a board wipe. But they could have a number of other stuff. Stomper? Sure. That doesn't save you. Go get you a land. Do you have something to save yourself? Get busy for 3. I have nothing to say to that. Ouch. Can you answer my face down card? It's a Herd Migration. You're going to cast it? Sure. Make a billion dudes. Now you can't pay the word cost on the face down card. So if you have a lockdown, you have to hit the cryptic coat. Dinosaur, what do you have on 3 mana? Cycle Jetmir's Garden. I think that's GG. Yep, they can't have anything. This can't be blocked, right? Yeah, that's how this works. Okay, hiya. GG. All right, sweet. We got that one. We got a little lucky there. Our opponent like missed on the interaction a few turns in a row. Not that they had interaction for a lot of the game, but we got pretty lucky there. All right, 2-1. Not bad for the Pirates deck. I definitely want to do more of the Pirates. I really like playing this deck. It's kind of one of my personal pet decks for the format. I don't think it's necessarily the best deck. So if you're just like trying to get into win on the ladder, I wouldn't recommend building Pirates. But if you're an experienced player who likes a tempo deck and a bit of a challenge, go ahead and throw Pirates together. The list is in the description. You saw it at the beginning of the video. Should be sweet. Look forward to some pre-modern on the main channel, and look forward to some more Modern Horizons 3 stuff on the main channel. And we're doing some Timeless here in a moment, in a day or two. So keep your eyes open for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, we'll see you next time.